So tell me a little bit more about PROC XSL, what it is and what does it do, because not too many people know about, you know, the XML component and what that does.
Right, so lots of people have XML data these days, and so you may want to be able to show somebody your XML data in HTML format, for example, or perhaps you want to be able to convert that XML data and change it to a different format of XML data. And PROC XSL allows you to do that without leaving the confines of SAS, a SAS session. So you can use PROC XSL with an n equals, and that would be your XML file. And then with an XSL equals, and that would be your XSLT file, which you are writing yourself to do the transformation. And then you have an out equals, which will give you the place to put your results, which could be an HTML file, an XML file, it could be a SAS file, it could be whatever your imagination comes up with.
So does the PROC help you in generating the XSLT, or does it only take the ones that you already develop and incorporate it?
Right, so it just takes the ones that it's up to your imagination to supply the XSLT, but it allows you not to leave SAS in order to do the conversion.
What are the common usage of the XSLT as it relates to SAS datasets? Do you have the examples?
Okay, you're stumping me now. PROC XSL is, well, let me just say that PROC XSL is pre-production. So for 9.3 it's pre-production. We have plans for it after 9.3. And originally when it was written, it was planned to go from SAS datasets to XML and from XML to SAS datasets. It does not currently do that, so there may be something that it does in the future that it does not do currently.
So is it available now in 9.2, or do we have to wait for the 9.3 release?
It actually is in 9.2. It's not documented in 9.2. So the first time it's documented is 9.3, but it's still pre-production in 9.2, which means it hasn't run through all the testing that it needs to be a production quality.
Okay. Do you have an example syntax that you can show on the screen just as a reference point? Yeah. Yeah, maybe you can describe briefly what the different components are.
Sure, so we have the n equals, which is going to be your XML file, and that can be a file name that you've already assigned, or it can just be a path name. And then you have your XSL, which contains the XSLT that you've written. And then the out equal is going to be whatever you are producing from the XSL, the transformation. That's your HTML, that's another XML file, that's possibly a SAS file, whatever you can come up with.
Now the input file, is that an XML file, or what is a normal input file?
Right, so the input file is XML, and it has to be properly formatted, of course, but
well-formed, I guess.
Well-formed, thank you,
yeah.
Yes.
So in that case, are you using the XML live name engine to pull it in, or how is that done?
It's not using the XML engine. It actually goes through something called, currently it goes through Xylan, which is an open source XSLT transformer. And so it goes through that, and it does all of the transformation of the XML. Most of the work is done actually by that engine. So it's a very thin veneer that the PROC supplies to allow you to stay in SAS, but to do the transformation.
So I work in the CDIS clinical data space. How do you see it possibly allowing you to incorporate it into a defined XML, for example, to display the domain data definition?
Well, as we were talking about earlier, if you have an XSLT file that you can provide that knows enough to be able to convert that defined.xml, you can put it into any format you want to. So you could, if you knew how to produce an Excel file, you could produce an Excel file in order to show your data, or anything else that you're looking for. I mean, sky's the limit.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thanks a lot.